Hey everyone, welcome to Small Talk Sundays, where I just do some small talk on Sundays and then upload the video at a very inopportune time on Monday. So, it's the New Year's, folks. Happy New Year's. Hope the holiday season has treated you all well, and I hope you all had a great time overall. And it's good to see 2020 finally being over, but we'll see how this next year plays out. But anyways, I don't want to linger on that topic too long and jinx everything. How have you folks been? I hope things been treating you well. I've been extraordinarily all over the place doing the holiday festivities, going all over the place with like family business, because you know, different parts of the family, and you know the shtick. So yeah, I've been going through all that, and with all of that finally dying down, me getting a chance to have a breather, I do plan to start going full throttle with these videos. And I would say a New Year's resolution for this year, but the amount of times I've only disappointed myself with how many New Year resolutions I failed to keep up with or maintain or fulfill, whatever the word I'm trying to say here, it just gets me a little bit on the sad side. Because there's a lot that I wanted to do over the past several years, and I've failed pretty much every single one of them. And it really sucks. So I'm not even going to say that about a New Year's resolution, because those have not been doing too well for me. But my plan for this year, at least, I do plan to be a lot more productive all around, on all fronts. Being able to like consistently upload videos and whatnot, and being able to utilize my time more appropriately, and being able to get more things done on many different fronts. Say for instance, like music composition, I could jump back into 3D stuff, trying to learn that, because that was the thing I've been wanting to learn for a while, but I haven't gone around to it. Try writing stuff out, like stories or whatnot. I've thrown out a bunch of like ambitious ideas here and there. I don't intend to get any one of them done. If anything, I just want to be able to just upload more consistently, but we'll see how that goes. Hopefully the MSQ, I will finally complete it. It's gonna be almost a literal year before I finish the MSQ at this pace. Oh my lord, I need to get back on that grind, because I haven't really touched it since last year, and that's very vague of me saying it that way. I realize that it's only been 4 days since last year, when this video is being uploaded. Realistically, it's been like a couple, 4 weeks. Yeah, so somewhere around that. So I'm probably gonna need to go back and refresh myself a bit on how that happened. That's something I notice I do pretty often in the main story quest thing. I get in a few like bursts of like, I get some decent amount of progress in, and then when I get to some points where it's like kind of big and important to remember where you're at the time, and it's almost like a cliffhanger where I leave off. Like, it's right when the things are tensing up, then I decide to take a break, and the breaks vary between a few days to weeks to half a year. So yeah, they're kind of all over the place, so that's gonna be a little something that I'll have to figure out how to work around with the videos. And also, I get a lot inconsistent with the footage I have. So just a heads up, I don't know if I've said this at all, but in my very current moment in progress, I am around like the level 74, 75 quests in the Shadowbringers main story quest. So I'm a decent ways in. I'm like halfway through the main story of it, I think. So I'm quite significantly farther in than what my playthrough is right now. So my plan is to try to get that playthrough to catch up to me, so that way things won't feel so jarring, because I've gotten a lot of input from the comments of the playthrough video, which I still haven't really gotten around, because friggin' holidays, they kind of smacked me on the face. But from the few comments that I did manage to see during the whole like, you know, frantic holiday stuff, there were some like good little pointers and whatnot, and thankfully everyone seems to be having a good time with it, and I'm really freaking glad to hear that. I'd love to make more of those. Because I always like the more laid back approach to things, so that way it's like kind of like background noise, just have it play in the background, and if there's like some big moment coming up, then you can start looking at it. But overall, it's just pretty much like almost like an audiobook almost, where I'm just like going through things and talking with the music in the background, try to balance out the sound as much as I can. But I like that approach, because you technically get everything from my experience. Well, mostly everything. I do cut out some bits of fat here and there, but you do get almost everything of me playing through the MSQ. And I realize there are points where you're not going to care much as to how I feel about certain parts or whatnot. And there are other parts where it's like it's the only things people really want me to really get to. I understand that. Like I know the shtick. Yeah, I would love to make more of these because these are I love the chillax feel of them. I'm not so much of a super hyper person all the time. I like to be a lot more laid back with things. The whole really like energetic approach I do to things with the unscripted thoughts and first impressions, and well, first and foremost, that transistor video I did. I put up like the energy, the entertainer's energy, so that way I can accurately read out the lines or just say the piece that I want, because I'm kind of aware as to the overall energy mentality that the internet tends to thrive on. Like if you look at a bunch of the really high-end YouTubers, they tend to have quite a bit of energy to go along with them. So I kind of like did that for those, so that they would be a lot more entertaining experience than it would be otherwise. Because I know what it's like to just listen to people who are just monotone. So yeah, that's kind of my mentality on things. But with this playthrough stuff, I can just relax, be myself. Yeah, I do have some energy. I'm not gonna say I'm like super laid back. I do get quite a bit of energy spurts here and there, depending on the mood, how I'm feeling and whatnot. But I'm not sitting there like talking rants and essays every other dialogue line that happens. I don't like pausing things mid-sentence, like especially in like voiced content and voiceovers. I do not like pausing it in between because I like to watch it like a movie. So I have autoplay on, and I just like try to put in my piece here and there when there's the gap in between dialogue lines. Yeah, it kind of squashes down my opportunity to make any input on things, but I kind of like the idea of having the story breathe and have its moments. It's a style that kind of appealed to me more, because I always liked watching how stories unfolded when I watched other YouTubers play their things. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. Granted, pretty much everyone who's watching is probably most likely already seen the story more than once, so it's probably not going to be the same thing for them. But I'm going with it as if it's a blind let's play approach, as if no one's seen it before. I realize most people who's watched this have seen it before, but I'm acting as if no one has. So that's kind of my approach and how I like to edit things, so people can piece together the story. It feels like it flows a lot more nicely that way. And I don't know what moments people tend to remember or latch on to most. Like there are some moments where it's like, yeah, okay, I understand that this is probably a big moment everyone kind of acknowledges. But there are others that may go over my head, and people are like, oh, that was big. That was a big little foreshadowing thing. Oh, you should have picked that up or something like that. I don't know. And speaking of that playthrough thing, I don't know why I keep talking about this playthrough thing. This is friggin' New Year's. What am I doing? I'm just I guess it's my main focus. I want to get this playthrough thing done, and maybe play other games. Probably not. I don't know. I don't think that's gonna work. That didn't work for me last time I did that, so I probably won't do that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get through the end of the Final Fantasy XIV MSQ, and that my current. Oh my gosh, I heard something that's gonna probably come out in February, but I don't remember what. So I remember being told something about big stuff happening in February. Oh my gosh, that feels like tomorrow with my pace. Oh my gosh, I'm not even done with the first main story. I haven't done any of the freaking nerds. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the main real kicker that got me to go into Final Fantasy XIV instead of Elder Scrolls Online or Star Wars The Old Republic, that's EA, never mind, or Guild Wars 2, was because Final Fantasy XIV does this thing with crossovers. And at the moment of me quitting WoW, I had somewhat recently put 100 hours into Nier Automata. And I heard that the whole thing was happening in Final Fantasy XIV. I was like, ooh, hello. I'm gonna step over this way now. And stepped over from WoW over to Final Fantasy XIV, and I'm like, oh boy, can't wait to get to the end game in probably 2 or 3 weeks, because from my experience in WoW, you can level up from 1 to 120 at the time in like a week or two. So I can do that, get all the way to max level, and no, that does not work here. I have so many level 80s. Granted, most of them are the disciples of the hand. I always mix up the freaking words. Most of them are disciples of the hand, because I'm kind of consistent with how I kept doing the Grand Company turn-ins. So I have a bunch of disciples of the hand jobs at 80 without me even making anything with them. So I've got a bunch of 80s. I also have several 80 combat jobs as well. So yeah, that was mostly due to like daily roulettes and daily frontline experience stuff. Yeah, I did a lot of front lines. I have like over 400 done. I forgot the exact number, but I have a lot of front lines done. So I basically have a bunch of 80s, and I still don't have access to the in-game content because there's this thing called the main story quest, and it is rather forced upon thee as a little sprouts of a Final Fantasy XIV player. Even though I've been playing for almost a year now, I'm still not done with the MSQ, and everyone is still kind of just waiting on me to make progress in any regard. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to finish that up, and hopefully I can get some more content out per week instead of just, you know, Small Talk Sundays. I don't treat these videos as content at all. It's just me pretty much just throwing out an update. But, yeah. Kind of the plans. It's very YouTube oriented, I realize. But, yeah, hopefully I can go full throttle with the content creation, and I'll keep on hammering them out, and shoot, maybe the render won't take an entire freaking day per video to render, because that actually happened a couple times where the render would crash at like 60%, 50%. One time it happened at 80%, so that was great. Of that whole 8-hour long render time for the Starlight Celebration event, that video crashed like 4 or 5 times during its rendering process, and one time it crashed, like completely shut off the software when I was sleeping and woke up. I was like, oh, that's great. Restarted it, crashed at 50%. The next one crashed at 80%, and it was like 60%. And then finally, I think the last one went, and then I uploaded it just a little bit shortly after it did. That was probably like somewhere early in the day. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning of the very last day of 2020. Huh, interesting. Anyway, I am going all over the place, but man, I really can't wait to get back into the grind of things and being able to see you guys again. Well, interact with you folks again, because it's great. When you do YouTube things, in my instance, nothing warms my heart more than the comments. Like, I don't even look at the like or dislike bar at all. Sometimes I forget it's there. I just look down straight to the comments. Like, that's the one number I look for. The comments. Did anyone say anything? Oh, what, did I do something wrong? Do they like it? Did I do things right? And some people are just really chill about it. I think a lot of people have already reminded me about how the tombstone thing with the playthrough thing. There's a moment in my playthrough where I see these little tombstone of poetics that are just as a prop, and then my character looks at it and sighs, and it's like, oh no. And I had a feeling it was a fourth wall break at that moment, where it's like you're just constantly grinding for tombstones over and over. I just didn't think the writers would do one of those, especially in a Final Fantasy game, because Final Fantasy, to my knowledge, have always been diegetic to everything they do. And seeing that kind of fourth wall break a little bit, it's still kind of in lore, but seeing it kind of still there, it just didn't click for me. I was like, they wouldn't write it like that, would they? So my brain just completely shut that possibility out. And yeah, I was just confused at the moment. But yes, lots of people have already told me that those are tombstones. Those are the things you grind for all the time. Oh, that's the thing you see every single day. That's the main goal of the game for the past decade. But I get it. Dang nabbit. And the second part is I've recorded everything all the way up to the 1, 2, 3, 4, I think the 5th zone. The 5th zone you get into. And I'm not going to be able to actually have a proper reaction or response or any type of acknowledgement of any of those comments until like that far in, because I've recorded all of that before I really uploaded that playthrough video. So I am quite a ways ahead, so I'm not going to be acting as if there was any YouTube input for probably like the next 20 or so episodes, maybe more. So yeah, that's going to be a little weird. People are going to be correcting me on stuff that I probably already know, and it's dag nabbit. I got a friggin' text message. But gosh, man, it's nice to be back to doing this YouTube stuff. As fun as the holidays were, I was kind of missing all you folks, and I really hope you all had a great friggin' New Year's. And honestly, I don't want to jinx anymore, so I'm not going to say more about the future of this year or any like well wishes for the rest of the year, because I don't want to jinx it, because last year was bad. Ooh, it was bad. And I know a year is just a number, so the flow of time is still technically going and nothing really changes, and just because of the new year things dramatically change, it doesn't. But I get it. But let's just hope this year is better. That would be great. All right. So I think I've ranted on long enough here. So I'm going to go ahead and just end it here. All right. So with all that said and done, thank you all very much for watching and or listening. And I hope you all have a wonderful life. And don't click links. All right. Take care, folks.